If you're taking creatine right now, or even thinking about starting, stop scrolling for a second, because this matters. Creatine is one of the most popular and well-researched supplements in the world. Athletes, beginners, and everyday people use it to improve strength, performance, and muscle health. But just because something is widely used doesn't mean it's foolproof. When creatine is used the wrong way, it can feel ineffective, uncomfortable, or even frustrating. Here's the truth most people never hear. The majority of creatine problems aren't caused by creatine itself. They come from hidden mistakes almost nobody warns you about. Things like poor hydration, unrealistic expectations, inconsistent use, or taking too much too fast can completely change how creatine feels in your body. When these mistakes pile up, people assume creatine doesn't work for them, and they quit before seeing real benefits. Another issue is that creatine advice is often oversimplified or aimed at young gym-goers with completely different goals. What works for someone in their 20s doesn't always apply the same way to someone focused on long-term health, strength, or aging well. Without the right context, creatine can feel confusing rather than helpful. That's why today we're breaking things down clearly and honestly. No hype, no scare tactics, and no complicated science. Just practical information you can actually use. We're going to walk through the 6 hidden risks of taking creatine that you must avoid if you want results without frustration. When you understand how creatine really works and how to use it correctly, it becomes a powerful support tool instead of a source of doubt or disappointment. But before we begin, drop your name and the city you're watching from in the comments below. We read and reply to every single comment. Now, without any further ado, let's start with number 6, and this one will surprise you. Number 6. Panic over scale weight gain. This one causes people to quit way too soon, often right when creatine is starting to work. After a few days or weeks of use, many people notice a small increase in body weight. That change can feel discouraging, especially if you're watching the scale closely or trying to manage your weight. But this isn't fat gain. Creatine pulls water into muscle cells, increasing muscle hydration, a key part of how it improves performance and recovery. The problem is perception. The scale doesn't tell you where weight comes from, only that it's there. When the number goes up, people assume something is wrong and panic. They may cut calories, change routines, or stop taking creatine altogether. Ironically, that reaction is often what stalls progress. Hydrated muscles work better, recover faster, and are more resistant to fatigue. That extra water supports strength and muscle function, not fat storage. What matters more than scale weight is how your body feels and performs. Are you stronger during workouts? Do daily tasks feel easier? Are you recovering faster between sessions? Those are signs that creatine is doing its job. In many cases, clothes fit the same or even better despite a slight increase on the scale. The real risk isn't weight gain, it's misinterpreting a normal, temporary effect and quitting something that's actually helping you. Creatine doesn't change overnight, and neither does your body. Progress should be measured in strength, energy, and movement quality, not just numbers. If you're using creatine, give it time and context. A small weight increase from muscle hydration is not a setback. It's often a signal that your muscles are better fueled. Don't let a misunderstood number stop real progress before it begins. Number 5. Dehydration that sneaks up on you. The first risk doesn't feel serious until it is, and that's what makes it so easy to ignore. Creatine pulls water into your muscle cells, which is exactly why it helps with strength, performance, and recovery. But this shift in water balance also means your body needs more fluids overall. If you don't increase your water intake, dehydration can creep in quietly without obvious warning signs at first. When hydration falls behind, symptoms start to show up. Headaches, muscle cramps, dizziness, sluggishness, and unexpected fatigue are common. Most people immediately blame creatine and assume it doesn't agree with them. In reality, creatine isn't the problem. Low hydration is. Your muscles are holding onto more water, leaving less available for other systems if you don't replace it through drinking enough fluids. This risk becomes even more common if you train hard, sweat a lot, or consume caffeine regularly. Caffeine can slightly increase fluid loss, and intense workouts raise hydration demands even further. Over time, the combination of creatine, sweating, and insufficient water can make your body feel run down, even though you're doing everything else right. The good news is that the fix is simple and effective. You don't need extreme water intake or complicated formulas. The key is consistency. Drink water throughout the day, not just before or after workouts. Pay attention to thirst, urine color, and how your body feels during activity. If you notice cramps or headaches, hydration should be the first thing you adjust, not creatine. When fluid intake matches your body's needs, this risk usually disappears completely. Creatine works best in a well-hydrated system. Drink consistently, stay ahead of dehydration, and this side effect often becomes a non-issue. Number 4, expecting creatine to fix everything. This is the biggest mistake of all, and it's the one that leads to the most disappointment. Creatine is powerful, well-researched, and genuinely effective, but it's not magic. No supplement can override poor sleep, inconsistent nutrition, or a lack of movement. When those basics are missing, creatine has very little to work with, yet many people start taking it hoping it will compensate for everything else that isn't dialed in. Sleep is the first weak link. Without quality sleep, muscles don't recover properly, hormones stay out of balance, and energy remains low. Creatine can't fix chronic fatigue caused by poor rest. The same goes for nutrition. Muscles need protein, calories, and micronutrients to adapt and stay strong. If meals are irregular or underfueled, creatine's benefits stay limited. It enhances muscle energy, but it doesn't build muscle out of nothing. Movement matters just as much. Creatine doesn't create strength on its own. It supports the work your muscles are already doing. If activity is minimal or inconsistent, creatine feels pointless. Even light resistance training, walking, or functional movement gives creatine a reason to work. Without that stimulus, it's just unused potential. The real danger isn't creatine itself. It's the expectation placed on it. When people treat creatine as a shortcut, they get frustrated and quit. When they use it as a support tool alongside decent sleep, regular movement, and sensible nutrition, the results feel natural and sustainable. Creatine works best when the foundation is solid, not perfect, just consistent. Think of it as an amplifier, not a replacement. Build healthy habits first, then let creatine enhance them. That's how it delivers real value without unrealistic expectations. Number 3, digestive issues from doing too much. More creatine doesn't mean faster results, and this is a mistake many people learn the hard way. It's easy to assume that taking a larger dose or doing an aggressive loading phase will speed things up. In reality, this approach often overwhelms the digestive system. Bloating, stomach cramps, nausea, or sudden trips to the bathroom are far more common than people like to admit. When digestion is uncomfortable, consistency suffers, and consistency is what actually makes creatine effective. Your body can only absorb and store a limited amount of creatine at a time. Once your muscles are saturated, any extra creatine simply gets flushed out. It doesn't build more muscle, increase strength faster, or provide extra benefits. All it does is stress your gut and waste money. This is especially relevant for people over 40 or 50, when digestion can be more sensitive than it used to be. Smaller daily doses work just as well in the long run. Taking 3 to 5 grams per day allows creatine levels in the muscles to build gradually without shocking your system. The results may feel less dramatic at first, but they're steadier, more comfortable, and easier to maintain. Over time, muscle saturation happens naturally without digestive chaos. The hidden risk isn't creatine itself. It's the belief that more equals better. That mindset often leads to discomfort, missed workouts, and eventually quitting altogether. When creatine causes stomach issues, people assume the supplement doesn't agree with them, when the real issue is dosage. If you want results without frustration, keep it simple. Use a moderate daily dose. Stay consistent and let time do the work. Creatine rewards patience, not excess. Number 2, confusing blood test results. This is where fear usually kicks in, especially when lab results come back with numbers that look unfamiliar or higher than expected. Creatine supplementation can raise creatinine, a waste marker doctors use to help assess kidney function. Seeing elevated creatinine often triggers immediate concern because it's commonly associated with kidney problems. But an important detail is often missed. Higher creatinine does not automatically mean kidney damage, particularly in people taking creatine. Creatinine is produced when creatine is broken down in the body. So, when you supplement with creatine, it's normal for creatinine levels to rise slightly. This is a metabolic effect, not a sign that your kidneys are failing. People with more muscle mass or those who are physically active can also show higher creatinine levels for the same reason. Without proper context, lab numbers can appear far more serious than they actually are. The real risk isn't creatine, it's lack of communication. If your doctor doesn't know you're supplementing, they may interpret the results as a problem and raise unnecessary alarms. This can lead to stress, additional testing, or being advised to stop something that isn't causing harm. For many people, especially those monitoring their health closely, this fear alone is enough to abandon creatine entirely. The solution is simple but crucial: transparency. Always tell your healthcare provider about any supplements you're using, including creatine, before blood tests. When doctors have the full picture, they can interpret lab results accurately and avoid jumping to conclusions. Creatine has been studied extensively and is considered safe for healthy individuals when used appropriately. Clear communication turns a scary-looking lab value into useful information and helps you make calm, informed decisions without unnecessary panic. Number 1. Pushing your body. Too hard. Too fast. Feeling stronger doesn't mean your body is ready for everything, and this is a subtle but important risk many people overlook. Creatine can boost muscle energy and performance relatively quickly, which often leads to noticeable strength gains in a short period of time. That progress feels great and can be very motivating. However, muscles tend to adapt faster than tendons, ligaments, and joints. This gap becomes more pronounced as we age. Tendons and joints rely on slower structural changes to become stronger and more resilient. When muscle strength increases faster than connective tissue can keep up, the result is often soreness, stiffness, or strain. This doesn't mean creatine is harmful. It means the body needs time to adapt as a whole. The risk comes when newfound strength leads people to lift heavier, move faster, or train harder than their joints are prepared to handle. This is where smart habits matter. Warm-ups become essential, not optional. Taking time to increase blood flow, mobilize joints, and prepare muscles reduces stress on connective tissue. Good form also becomes more important as strength improves. Stronger muscles can sometimes compensate for poor movement patterns until pain shows up. Slowing down, controlling movements, and focusing on technique protects joints while still allowing progress. Recovery plays a huge role as well. Creatine supports muscle recovery, but it doesn't eliminate the need for rest days, mobility work, stretching, and proper sleep. Ignoring recovery while increasing intensity is one of the fastest ways to stall progress or pick up minor injuries that derail consistency. The hidden risk isn't strength itself. It's letting that strength override patience. Creatine is a support tool, not a license to rush progress. When strength gains are paired with smart recovery, gradual progression, and respect for joint health, creatine helps you move better and stay active long-term without unnecessary setbacks. So here's the real takeaway. Creatine isn't dangerous. Misunderstanding it is. When used correctly, it's one of the safest and most effective supplements available. Avoid these hidden risks, and creatine can be a powerful ally instead of a source of confusion. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you experienced any of these issues with creatine? Or do you want a follow-up video on dosage, kidney myths, or how beginners should take creatine safely? Drop a comment, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.